Thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Not at all.
So, Dr. Crippen, give it to me in a nutshell.
Well, the premise is quite simple. Take something designed by nature and reprogram it to make it work for the body rather than against it.
It is a very common feature of zombie narratives and movies that feature protagonists that are separated from society to develop ideas of the impact of isolation on the human psyche. I Am Legend is no different from these narratives, but it does develop these ideas in its own unique light. Residing in the dilapidated remains of a post-apocalyptic New York City, I Am Legend is a sci-fi horror drama about a zombie-like virus that results from an attempt to cure cancer. In this video, I will be analyzing the director's cut of I Am Legend to look at how the director, Francis Lawrence, decides to embody the idea of isolation throughout this film. In these initial scenes of the movie, we are presented with wide-angle and sweeping shots of the desolate environment of New York City, immediately establishing this is a story about isolation. In the depths of this concrete jungle, we meet the protagonist of this movie, Dr. Robert Neville, and his trusted partner, a German Shepherd named Sam. Today, Dr. Neville will be the focus of this video, and I will be discussing how his character is shaped by isolation. Although Dr. Neville is the last survivor of New York City, his sense of duty propels him to stay at the epicenter of the disaster to find a cure.
Robert, you said you're going, not we're going.
I can still fix this.
However, his voluntary confinement causes Neville to develop some strange habits, the first being the personification of his dog Sam. Sam, a German Shepherd left to him from his daughter, is the last shard of the domestic life Neville had with his family before the outbreak. Because of this, Sam plays a vital role in ensuring Neville's sanity. We begin with just a shot of Sam and Neville, but there's more to this scene than just two pals on a treadmill. In direct contrast with the desolate city, Neville and Sam are seen in a well-kept room, with the sun shining and the windows open, conveying the feeling that nothing is wrong in New York, and that they're simply going about their domestic lives. The low angle of the camera used between the two conveys how powerful their relationship truly is. Sam is treated like a spoiled child, eating a considerably hefty meal.
Eat your vegetables. Don't just push them around. Eat them. I'm not playing.
And being scolded by Neville when she ignores her vegetables. This relationship is one beyond man's best friend. Sam is a piece of his sanity. While Sam is a good companion, Neville still longs for human interaction. To satisfy these desires, he befriends the mannequins in a CD shop, acting chummy with them as if they meet on a daily basis. He makes names for each one and treats some of them as new customers. This makes for an odd juxtaposition of the character that so far has appeared to be logical and practical.
Who's the girl?
A similar situation can be found in the film Castaway. Between these two scenes, it's not hard to notice that isolation can drive the human mind to new innovations. And just like Castaway, in I Am Legend, Neville is driven to his limits, attacking the very reality he created. In this scene where he attacks a mannequin, there's a drastic shift in lighting after the events. Dusk approaches, and the darkness of the human psyche begins to take over Neville's life. The isolation has taken a toll on Neville's mind, and he now has to face himself. As dusk approaches, so do the infected.
Damn it, Fred!
With the help of Sam, he manages to flee, but not without injuries. Sam becomes infected, forcing Neville to kill the only anchor to his sanity. This is a critical scene. Since Sam represents Neville's sanity, Neville loses any hope in survival. He is now completely isolated. In a last-ditch effort, Neville returns to the CD store to be comforted by the mannequins, but to no avail. He is left with anger as they provide nothing close to what his dog did.
Please say hello to me. Please say hello to me.
Consumed in rage, Neville faces his fears and confronts the infected at night. Once a pragmatic soldier, he's forgotten his cause and decides to end it all in an impossible task. With his companion gone, there's little left to save. The scenes from here on are dark and reflect the overall lack of a will to live. However, as Neville fights with the infected in the dark, a bright light appears, signifying a change in hope. This scene shows us that the only way Neville would be saved from his mind is through contact with another human being. The light contrasts the darkness surrounding Neville, freeing him from isolation. Having endured through the apocalypse for over 2 years now, it is difficult for Neville to believe in any salvation that isn't self-derived. But now Neville's redemption arc begins.
What are you doing? I would think of all people you would recognize.
You and what army?
When confronted with the idea of a safe haven, Neville doubts any possibility.
We're going to Vermont, to the survivors' colony. The virus couldn't survive the cold. There's hope.
Everybody's dead. Everybody is dead.
The room is brightly lit, with Shrek playing in the background, and as a result, this happy atmosphere contrasts Neville's doubt. This doubt stems from Sam's death and his extensive isolation. It seems that Neville may have needed to save humanity simply because he wished to save himself from the terror of being alone.
Bringing this point home, Will Smith comments on his feelings about the film and what was in his mind to prepare.
People have been in solitary confinement and stuff like that. And they said to defend itself, your mind will give life to anything, right? So you give life to the chair, you give life to the microphone, give life, to the wall, and your mind processes it as a living thing in order to defend itself.
In conclusion, I Am Legend describes the pain and suffering caused by isolation through Robert Neville. To deal with the physical isolation, Neville relies on Sam and the mannequins, and when the isolation spreads from physical to mental, the film suggests that only true human interaction can save Neville, and that the scar may never disappear, the wound can heal. You are not alone.